First and foremost, I want to go ahead and start by saying that these videos are literally going to be unscripted, and it's just me saying what's on my mind and completely unfiltered. So if you're new to the channel, well, be ready for me to basically ramp about whatever topics in my mind or on the thumbnail title, whatever it is. Anyways, so for this video, I decided to choose lessons that I learned in 2024. Okay, I think this year has taught me so much, and the way in which I'm going to talk about them is from the least important ones to the number one lesson I learned this year. Okay, so with that being said, let's start with the first one. And the first lesson that I learned, and just so you know, I keep my notes in my phone. Consistency is key. And then I know a lot of like self-improvement people are going to be saying, yeah, that's we all know that. Yeah, but it's true. 100% is true. I think that being consistent on the things that I've been doing this year have been very beneficial for me in those aspects, right? So, for instance, like working out. Working out has been one thing that I've been super consistent this year. Like every week, I've been going to the gym 5 times a week, right? And at first, it was a matter of aesthetics, right? I want to go ahead and look sexy for the summer. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get that sexy body for the summer and stuff, which I did, and I was super proud of it. Like, I remember one time, literally one time, I remember like, you know, going through my mirror in my living room, in my bedroom, and be like, damn, boy. So I was pretty proud of that. And why was I proud of that? Because I know I put the work. I know I was being consistent, and not only consistent on the gym, but also consistent with my diet. I was meal prepping every week, which is something that I still do. Otherwise, how am I gonna eat? Hello. And then, you know, I was really, you know, paying attention of the consistent repetition of things that I needed to do in order for me to progress, if that makes any sense, right? So yes, consistency is key in order for you to have success, right? The next lesson I learned in 2024 is save bread for May. So what do I mean when I say save bread for May? Basically have somewhere to fall, you know, have like a little cushion in case things get rough through the year, which this year alone were 3 times where it got rough. 3 times where it got rough. And I am not gonna go into details. I like to leave a little bit of mystery here and there. But what I can tell you is, if it wasn't for saving bread for me type of thought process, I wouldn't be here right now. Yeah, I wouldn't be here right now. I'll be very stressed. Probably my hair will be falling off. So much shit that can be happening, you know. But I'm glad I saved the bread for May, and I got myself prepared for those situations where I needed to be able to have the money ready and, you know, prepare for situations like that, you know. It's important to be prepared for those situations, especially if you have the responsibility of having rent, car insurance, phone, and multiple different bills. So it's very important to be prepared for situations where uncertainty may arise. And if it does happen, then at least you're prepared. And that was one of the lessons that I learned in 2024, because there more than once I experienced uncertainty, and that was absolutely not fun at all. I don't recommend nobody to go through that kind of uncertainty. It's absolutely not fucking fun at all. The next lesson that I learned in 2024 is to is that it's okay to say no. So, just so you know a little bit about me, I'm the kind of person who is always down to do anything. I'm always down to go to this attraction, or go to this place, or do this activity, and let's go do one thing. Yeah, no problem and stuff. But this year, I learned to say no to situations where I wasn't really feeling comfortable. If I wasn't feeling comfortable about something, why would I be agreeing with it? Why do I have to say yes to something that I'm not happy with? Like, no, it doesn't make any sense. Why would I be accepting behavior that is just not okay? Why would I be accepting to do things that I don't want to generally do? Why do I have to be okay with people telling me to do one thing, and just to be agreeable with them, I say yes to them? No, it's okay to say no. Sometimes I cannot tell you. This year, I think I enjoy my rent the most. I will say, this year is when I said, when people will invite me over to, I don't know, let's go to a club, and I'm like, nope. Why you don't want to go to a club, you loser? And I was like, because I'm enjoying my rent. I'm enjoying my rent. I'm being in my apartment, enjoying my rent, doing my little thing over here, like watching TV or playing video games, and just do my thing here, And it's perfectly fine to say no. If you don't want to do something, you don't have to obligate yourself to do something. That's kind of like they call it a people-pleasing behavior. And honestly, that was my mistake from many years, which was, I thought it was okay for me to just be a people pleaser and then say yes to everything when I truly mean no. This year, as I said before, I learned to say no to the things that I truly didn't want in my life. And not even just say no to that, but at the same time, let it go. Let it go and cut it off. Just don't accept that kind of behavior. Don't settle for something that you don't feel happy with, which takes me to my second most important lesson this year, which was, don't settle for less. Do not settle for less. Like, I'm gonna put you like a very practical example as to how that operates, or how that works, right? Imagine you go to get a new car, right? You get a new car. You definitely want it, but you're not desperate. You wanted it, but you're not like, it's not a situation where you needed it right then and there. You wanted it, right? When you go to the dealership and you find the car that you like, right? You're gonna select that car that you want, right? And then the dealership tells you, no, you need to put a higher deposit in order for you to get it. But with the current deposit that you have, you can get this. And it's not the car you want. It's a good car. It's nice, but it's not the one you want. It doesn't have the qualities that you're looking for on a car. It doesn't have the qualities that you're looking for that will bring you satisfaction long term, because remember, the car, it's not going to be paid off right away. You're probably going to be paying for a really long time. So what I'm trying to say in here is, especially this year, if I don't like it, I don't have to get it. If I don't like it, I don't have to accept it. If I don't like what I see, what I do, who I'm with, or the car in this case, then I don't have to settle down for less. I don't have to say yes to something that I am not happy with, which again goes back again to the original example that I said about learn to say no. And this year I've said no so many times, and I didn't let myself settle for less, especially knowing how I am with people, and especially knowing what I'm really looking for in somebody. And this can go for many different things, for like work. You know, it can be for friends, and it can be also for relationships, you know? Like, I don't like to settle for less. If I see shit that is happening at my workplace, why the fuck do I have to stay in that? Why? Is it worth it? No, right? If I have friends that are treating me like shit, friends that are not valuing me or upbringing me, why the fuck do I have to be okay with that? You know, I cannot settle for less, right? And then in terms of my relationships, the person that I'm going out with doesn't have what I'm looking for, doesn't have what I truly inside myself I desire. Why the fuck do I have to go with this person? You know, if I am a person, for example, and this is actually true to me, I'm an emotional person. Not emotional and like very emotional, but I like emotional stuff. I am a deep person. I like to talk about deep shit. Eventually, when I start putting more videos on the channel, you probably know what I mean when I say being deep. But if I'm going out with a girl who likes surface level conversation and does not allow herself to go into a deeper level, what's keeping me from being with this girl? What's keeping me from being with somebody that I'm not okay with? Why the fuck do I have to settle down for somebody that I don't like? It doesn't make any sense, right? So yeah, that was the second most important lesson. But the most important lesson, and this is the one that I leave for the end. And if you made it over here and you watched the first lesson, I appreciate you for observing it, and you maybe be able to relate to this. But the most important lesson I learned in 2024 is love yourself and be content with who you are, and learn to love your own time. This is a different story, right? This is a little bit of a different idea per se. But loving yourself, that was one of the hardest things for me to learn. And it went to the notion of understanding self-respect, right? You need to respect what you say you're gonna do. You need to respect your own boundaries. You need to respect what your ideals are. And don't ever let nobody put you down for what you think is right, if that makes any sense. Self-love also is something that I kind of learned the hard way, because for me, I didn't understand what it's like to have a time alone. What it's like to go out to the movies and watch a movie by myself. I didn't know what it's like to go to a park, sit down on the park, and then just like exist on the park by myself. I didn't know what it's like what kind of activity I like to do that bring me some kind of reward. And I discovered that I love going for walks. That's one of my favorite activities to do. I love going for walks. I realized that I like to go eat to food trucks by myself. And I will go to food trucks by myself and I will eat. I realized that I like to go to little hidden spots and sit there by myself and just exist. I realized that I like to explore places in the city that normally people don't go. And that's kind of how I learned to love myself. That's kind of how I learned to enjoy my time alone. Enjoy my time and develop what I like to call a Gianni time, you know? I love to learn over here. I learned to sit down on my couch and read books. I learned to sit down on my bed and then just like meditate and stuff like that, you know? I learned to really appreciate myself for who I am. And that was one of the hardest lessons this year, because I didn't understand that concept before. I didn't understand that concept. And then it's kind of crazy because all of the other things that I learned this year, like for example, a good example was being consistent on my actions, was a way of loving myself, because I was respecting what I said I was going to do. I was respecting my word, and I was getting the results, which low-key I'm still getting them. So again, like, if you're somebody who is struggling to learning to love yourself, you need to first identify what makes you happy. You as an individual, you as the person who's watching right now. What makes you feel happy? What brings you joy to you? For me, again, what brought me joy was going for walks. It's like meditational. What brought me joy was spending lazy ass time at home doing nothing. What brought me joy was going to the gym and lift. That made me happy. What brought me joy was going to food trucks and just try whatever food they have available. That's what brought me joy. But everybody's different, and everybody has different ways of getting happiness, you know. And I'm not talking about no dopamine. I'm not saying no dopamine here. No. I'm talking about happiness, like a sense of fulfillment, you know. So yeah, that definitely was one of the hardest lessons that I had in this year. And honestly, I feel like I'm entering 2025 with a different mentality in that sense. And you know, the fact that I know how to love myself now a lot more than I used to before, just speaks greatness, because it will be translating into the next set of steps that I take on this year. So that's just one of those things that I always say to people. First, find yourself and learn to love yourself, and everything else will come right after. So yeah, those are the things that I learned. I can talk to you more about other things, and these are gonna be for other videos, but this is like an introductory video where I'm just being literally myself. It's not scripted. I only have just some notes that I wanted to talk, and I like doing this. I may probably do some cuts and some little things, but other than that, this is kind of like what the format looks like. If you like it, subscribe for more. And then if you made it all the way over here, I just want to go ahead and ask you this question. And I'm going to zoom in for this one. Watch. Look at that quality zooming right there. There you go. Okay, so the question is this. What did you learn in 2024? And how will that shape you for 2025? Huh? That was a nice one, huh? All right. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next episode.